Have you ever wondered how the first camera came into existence? The story begins with the camera obscura, an optical device used in drawing and for entertainment. It wasn't actually a camera, but a darkened room with a small hole that allowed light to enter, projecting an inverted image of the outside world onto a surface inside. The camera obscura fascinated thinkers and innovators, including the likes of Leonardo da Vinci, who utilized it in his studies. Yet, despite its captivating abilities, the camera obscura lacked permanence. The images it created couldn't be preserved. They were fleeting, vanishing as soon as the light shifted. This would change in the early 19th century, thanks to a French artist and chemist named Louis Daguerre. Inspired by the camera obscura, Daguerre embarked on a journey to make these transient images permanent. After years of experimentation, he unveiled his invention to the world in 1839. It was called the daguerreotype, a device that captured detailed images on a silver-plated surface. Daguerre's invention was groundbreaking. For the first time, people could see themselves as others saw them, frozen in time. The daguerreotype was a sensation, sparking a rush of portrait studios opening up across Europe and America. But it wasn't perfect. The process was complicated and time-consuming, requiring subjects to sit motionless for minutes at a time. And the images, while incredibly detailed, were fragile, easily damaged by light and touch. Yet, despite its flaws, the daguerreotype laid the foundation for modern photography. It marked the beginning of a new era, an era where moments could be captured and preserved, where memories could be made tangible. In the hands of inventors and innovators, the camera began to evolve, becoming faster, more reliable, and eventually more accessible. It opened up a world of possibilities, transforming how we see and understand the world around us. And thus, the journey of capturing memories began, not in color, but in shades of gray. So, how did we move from static images to pictures that could be developed and printed? Well, it all started in the mid-19th century with the invention of photographic film. A French inventor, Louis Daguerre, and a British scientist, William Henry Fox Talbot, were the pioneers who took photography to the next level. They discovered a way to fix an image onto a light-sensitive material, a process known as developing. Daguerre's method, known as daguerreotype, involved treating a silver-plated sheet of copper with iodine to make it light-sensitive. He then exposed it to light, creating a latent image that could be developed with the help of mercury vapor. On the other hand, Talbot's process, known as calotype, used a paper coated with silver iodide. After exposure to light, the paper was treated with a solution of gallic acid and silver nitrate, developing a negative image that could be used to print multiple positives. These revolutionary processes ignited a spark that transformed photography. No longer were images fleeting, disappearing as soon as the light changed. Now they could be captured, preserved, and reproduced. This was a game changer. Suddenly, photography was not just about capturing a moment. It was about preserving memories, documenting history, and sharing experiences. As the technique evolved, so did the medium. The heavy glass plates, initially used in photography, were replaced by flexible film in the late 19th century, making cameras lighter and more portable. This innovation, coupled with the development of mass-market cameras at the turn of the 20th century, made photography accessible to the general public. The use of film also expanded the creative possibilities within photography. It allowed for the exploration of different perspectives, the manipulation of light and shadow, and the creation of innovative compositions. It was more than just a technological advancement. It was a new form of artistic expression. Film introduced a new dimension to photography, making it more accessible and versatile. It paved the way for the dynamic, ever-evolving world of photography that we know and love today. Digital cameras are now the norm, but how did we get here from film? The transition from film to digital photography was a significant paradigm shift. It all started in the mid-20th century when scientists began to experiment with digital imaging. But the road from film to digital was not an overnight journey. In the early years, photography was purely a chemical process. Light would hit the film, creating a reaction that would then be developed into an image. This was a delicate and time-consuming process that required a darkroom and a lot of patience. Then came the digital revolution. The invention of the charge-coupled device, or CCD, in the late 1970s was a game changer. This device could translate light into electrical charges, which could then be converted into digital data. This was the birth of digital imaging. The first digital cameras were large, expensive, and primarily used by professionals. But as the technology improved and became more affordable, digital cameras became more accessible to the average consumer. The shift from film to digital brought about a revolution in the way we take photos. No longer did photographers need to wait for their film to be developed to see their images. With digital photography, images could be viewed instantly on the camera's screen. This opened up a whole new world of possibilities. Photographers could experiment with different settings and immediately see the results. They could take hundreds, even thousands of photos without worrying about running out of film. And they could easily share their photos with the world, thanks to the rise of the internet and social media. The transition from film to digital wasn't just about technology. It was about making photography more accessible, more instantaneous, and more versatile. The introduction of digital cameras marked a new era in the world of photography, making it even more accessible and instantaneous. And we are still riding the wave of this digital revolution, as the boundaries of what is possible with a camera continue to be pushed. Modern cameras are marvels of technology, but how exactly do they work? Let's begin with the lens, the eye of the camera. The lens is a carefully crafted piece of glass that bends light, focusing it onto a tiny point inside the camera. It's all about controlling light. You can adjust the aperture, the opening in the lens, to control the amount of light that enters. It's just like the iris in your eye, widening in dim light and contracting in bright light. Now, where does this light go? It hits the sensor, the heart of a digital camera. The sensor is made up of millions of light-sensitive spots called pixels. When light hits these pixels, they generate an electrical signal. The brighter the light, the stronger the signal. But we're not done yet. These electrical signals are just raw data. They need to be processed. That's where the image processor comes in, the brain of the camera. It takes these signals, interprets them, and turns them into a digital image. It's a bit like a painter, taking in the world around them and recreating it on canvas. And voila, you've got yourself a digital image. But that's not all. Modern cameras also have a host of other features. They can adjust for different lighting conditions, focus on specific subjects, and even recognize faces. They're not just passive observers, they're active participants, helping you capture the best image possible. So there you have it, a brief journey through the workings of a modern digital camera. From the lens that bends light, to the sensor that captures it, to the processor that interprets it, every part plays a crucial role. And let's not forget about the software that brings it all together, making it all possible with just the click of a button. Despite their complexity, the basic principle of cameras remains the same: capturing light and turning it into memorable images. We've traveled a long way from the camera obscura to the digital cameras of today. Our journey began with a simple optical device, the camera obscura. It was a darkened room or box with a small hole, allowing light to pass through and project an upside-down image of the outside world. From this humble beginning, the camera evolved into a portable device when Joseph Nicephore Niepce, a French inventor, made the first permanent photograph. He used a pewter plate coated with bitumen, a substance that hardens when exposed to light. This was the dawn of a new era, the birth of film. The film era was marked by innovations like the roll film by George Eastman, which made cameras portable and photography accessible to the masses. Then came the 35mm film, the most popular film format, introduced by Oscar Barnack of Leica. As we moved ahead, the film was replaced by something far more convenient and versatile: the digital sensor. The transition from film to digital was a game changer, making photography faster, easier, and cost-effective. It also opened up new possibilities for manipulation and enhancement of images post-capture. Fast forward to today, and we have cameras that fit in our pockets, embedded in our smartphones. These digital cameras capture images as data, allowing us to store thousands of photos on a single device. They offer advanced features like autofocus, image stabilization, and high-definition video capabilities, making photography more versatile than ever. But let's not forget, at the heart of every camera, whether it's a camera obscura, a film camera, or a digital camera, the basic principle remains the same. Light enters through a lens, it's focused onto a surface, and an image is formed. So the next time you snap a photo, remember the centuries of innovation that have gone into that simple act.